Behold how good and how pleasant it is for I and I to dwell together in unity. It is the precious ointment upon the head that went to the precepts, even Aaron's precept that went to the skirts of his garments. As the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that ascend upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High, Rastafari.
Well, you know, 1,000 years is sometime like an evening, like this evening, you know. Yeah, well, Brother Bob, you know, he's all our brother, and he has left with us such a great legacy of good music and good culture. And I, you know, for a part to be, have been acquainted with Bob from the age of 9 years, you know, and to have been with him through the Wailers history. I feel satisfied to know that I've been with one that has left us with such a great legacy, and to be still here to be establishing what the Wailers stood for, you know, I feel good. There's the remaining Wailer that is trying to keep the Wailers fire burning, you know, and I think by now the world should be fully aware that Bunny Wailer is original Wailer, and once a Wailer, he's always going to be a Wailer. And then I know that for my part, without the Wailers, I would only be Bunny.
Sure.
It's a foundation, you know. The tree will bear fruit, but we have to concentrate on the root, because without the root, there is no fruit. Music gladdened the hearts of Ethiopians, and people in general, worldwide, love to dance. Dancing is that exercise that grooves the heart, the mind, the soul, and the spirit. So reggae music, apart from being that music that sends a message, it deals with history, truths and rights, but it also deals with people dancing and enjoying themselves, because the root of the music is first to appeal to the children. And sometimes the children don't understand the language, but they understand the music. So the music, apart from the message, is where we know that the dancehall is the place that reggae music got itself all started, because the Wailers' first song was Simmer Down, and that was a dance record, and still is, you know, in our present time, a dance record. So the dancehall, you know, it's there's nothing that says anything negative about the dancehall, but most of the time people, you know, express themselves the way how they feel fit to express themselves, and everyone has that right. But then again, we who know better have to do better, and we have to make sure that we keep the moral sense of things floating, you know, always making sure that the right things are there for the generation to accept, so that we can be sure and secure of a moral future. So the dancehall we can't get rid of, but all we have to do is to make sure that we bring cultural, authentic music to the dance. Yeah.
Give thanks, brother.
Not Mortimer Planno though, Joe Higgs. Not Mortimer Planno. Mortimer Planno never shoot any way. Let's only go amongst Planno because of Rastafarian reasons. You know, Mortimer Planno was supposedly a Rastafarian leader at the time, so we went among him for that reason. But as far as it comes to the Wailers tutorship, Joe Higgs, that's the man who's responsible for establishing Wailers through teaching us the knowledge of music, harmonies. Planno was just more religious side of things, not on the artistic. Planno was not an artist, Planno was not a musician. Joe Higgs is the man that is responsible for
millions of people
the Wailers' musical development from the early stage of Trenchtown, 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th Street, 5th Street, 6th Street, right up to 13th Street. So Higgs was the man.
Yeah! Rastafari.
Trenchtown, they have turned it into a dream, you know, and somewhere that the people of Trenchtown who originated in Trenchtown and who knew what Trenchtown was like before it has become what it is today. It was a place for a poor man, you know, life to be worthwhile. You know, it was a place that, although it was of the lesser privileged people, it was still that kind of a place that made you feel as if you were in Hollywood. You know, because everything was happening around you. Anything that you could possibly think of was happening in Trenchtown. Everything. And what I think is that the politicians, the activism, the gun culture that these people brought into these communities, I think it was a deliberate plan. Right up to 13th Street. History has been distorted somewhat because there are people who say things that they don't really know. They heard and they talk what they heard. But to know is a different situation, you know. You would have to talk to the people who were actually present at the time when the Wailers were being recruited, to know how the Wailers were recruited, who were members, who were not actually accepted, but they were recruited, and all of that. There's a lot of things that a lot of people don't know about. They don't know the people, and they don't know what happened. But they say things, you know, like Timothy White writes a lot of, you know, fictitious garbage, which he has messed up a lot of people with, you know, because he's told a lot of stories that don't go anywhere like that, nowhere at all, not even close. And he has written this Catch a Fire book that has distorted a lot of truth, you know. So we have yet to see if we can make sure we correct these natural abuses that sometimes the excitement in people will make people want to read, and what people read they believe. But then again, is it the truth? That's another story, you know. So, you know, I could always sit here and talk about Wailers history forever and ever and ever and ever. And then now you would put that what I say together with what you have heard, and then you would say to yourself, shit, what are these people talking about? Because Bunny Wailer doesn't say anything like what they're talking about. And Bunny Wailer should know, because he's the only one left alive to tell the tale or to tell the story. You know, so Planno was more on a religious connection where the Wailers were concerned, not artistically in any way. And as far as the Wailers' development musically was concerned, Joe Higgs was the man who was responsible for Wailers' early development.
Hey, this is a message to all church and denomination. Respect is due to the dead of Rastaman, but you never see the image of a boy, Jesus. I have never seen the image of a boy, Jesus. I have never seen the image of a boy, Jesus. He is a humble and dead Nazarene man. Look in yourself and try to understand. I have never seen the image of a boy, Jesus. Sing along, everybody, oh. Sing along. Oh, keep fighting, oh. Cause it is good enough for us. If it was good